Hey, we're going to hit an issue I occasionally see in plans review, and that is stairways that are locked from the inside. So let me show you the code requirements on this really quick. So we're looking at the 2021 edition of the International Building Code. Chapter 10, specifically 1010, was significantly rearranged in the 2021 version compared to 2018. But if you look, this section here, stairway doors, interior stairway means of egress doors shall be openable from both sides without the use of a key or special knowledge. This is the piece that always gets a lot of individuals in a security environment. What happens is there are situations where an occupancy needs to have doors locked. If you take a look at this image here, the principle really stems from occupants escaping a business occupancy, for instance, that's served by an interior stairway. They go to that stairway, they try to get down, but the doors are locked from the inside and there's smoke on other floors. So the stairwell fills up and they end up having some fatalities. The fire effectively that created this particular requirement was the 1980 MGM Grand Fire. I did a video on this, a 21-minute video to explain it, but the point is the MGM Grand Fire 1980 had 85 fatalities associated with it, and many of those came from stairway enclosures. If you take a look at the 2003 edition of the International Building Code, they have a particular caveat here. There's an exception. Exception number 3. In stairways serving not more than 4 stories, doors are permitted to be locked from the side opposite the egress side, provided they are openable from the egress side. Now that's up to, for 4 stories. That was removed in the 2006 edition. The impetus behind that removal came from the Cook County Administration fire. That happened in 2003. It claimed 6 lives. Similar situation, firefighters on the fire floor directed occupants to go in the stairway. The firefighters left the door open on the fire floor. It filled that stairway with smoke. They couldn't actually egress down to the level of exit discharge. They were stuck. They tried to get in through some other doors. They couldn't because they were locked. And then what resulted were those fatalities. So to eliminate that in the future, the IBC changed in 2006 where they removed that caveat regarding 4 more stories. So what you're at now, you have the situation where if you have a fire within a building, it actually has to allow egress from the stairways on all floors. Now you have a couple options. If you look at the 2021 edition, the 2021 edition actually has an allowance here. It's right there. Stairway exit doors shall be openable from the egress side and shall only be locked from the opposite side in groups B, F, M, and S occupancies, where the only interior access to the tenant space is from a single exit stairway. So right there, if it's only one stairway serves it, you can lock it. But otherwise, you have to have the ability to unlatch or open all the doors from a fire command center or some other single location. What that section means is, let's say you have a high-rise, a building greater than 75 feet. By code, by Chapter 4 of the IBC, you have to have a fire command center, but there's also options available besides a fire command center. For instance, if you have a central fire alarm station that has the ability to press a button, open up all the doors in an interior stairway, not a problem. You can do that. The situation, though, is if you have a secure facility with 2 stairways serving it, and you're extremely sensitive into regarding your security. Let's say you're doing some classified work for the government, or you have some expensive items, jewelers, things like that. What you don't want to have is thieves to have the ability to press a button or signal a fire alarm or something like that, open up all the doors in the stairway and provide access into your area. So it's kind of a real tough situation. There's no caveat associated with multiple interior stairways serving a business occupancy, for instance. You can't have the doors open. Creates a lot of frustration. And that's why the HJ has to have a little bit of finesse in terms of how they manage that. I really don't know a solution. It's kind of problematic, but it's derived from these MGM and Cook County fires that resulted in fatalities. That's why they have it. So I see this a lot. I see occupants or building owners, what they want is they want the ability to lock doors within a stairway, contrary to the current code. And I just have to tell them you can't do it. I did have one situation where we had, badge access, and everybody on the floor could only be there if they have badge access, and made a determination that it was an equivalent level of safety because everybody was trained on that. You're going to have the local AHJ approve that kind of a thing. But otherwise, it's illegal to lock doors from inside of stairways. And that goes for both interior exit access stairways as well as interior stairway exit enclosures. So both apply this rule to it. Anyway, just something I frequently see. I wanted to share these kind of items with you because a lot of people omit them, and it leads to very costly situations for building owners or reconstruction. So appreciate your time watching this. You have a good day.